Hello, this is Brian D. Scott. I'm a solutions architect at the Customer Solutions Center at Dell Technologies, and I am going to be going over Intel's Endpoint Management Assistant, or EMA. EMA defined. What is EMA and how does Dell use it to manage endpoints? Intel Endpoint Management Assistant, or EMA, uses AMT and vPro to access systems or endpoints using an agent that's loaded on each endpoint. The agent communicates with EMA, which is server-based, to allow remote access to a system for administrator duties. EMA has a dashboard web interface that allows an admin to see and manage all systems within their network that has an agent installed on them. The admin can select one or more systems to view and interact with from the list of endpoints. A drop-down menu can be accessed that shows the different functions available on the endpoint. What I'm showing you now is the main landing page of Intel's Endpoint Management Assistant. This is actually the tenant view. The admin view is one where you create the users and the endpoint groups, the endpoints, and other objects that are going to be used here. But for the intent of this video, I'm going to go over all of the things that a tenant manager manages, since that's really the crux of the entire application. This is where you're able to interact with the endpoints, see how they're set up, verify security settings, and so on. So as you can see on this home page, I've got 2 users set up. Okay. I've got 4 endpoint groups. I've got 9 endpoints that I'm going to manage. This is showing you the status of Intel AMT on all of those systems. You can see all of them are 100% provisioned. And then this is a getting started, and you also have it echoed here. This is basically when you start this for the first time, it will allow you to go through and set up all of the objects and permissions and users that you need. This is the CSC Round Rock page. This is one I created. You'll also see there's some other endpoint groups that are here. You'll see there's one for Round Rock, there's one for Santa Clara, one for New York City, and then there's a new one I've created that I'm working on called CSC RR Cert. And that one is for certification at the administrator level, which is different than the administrator level of the application. But to go into detail, you can see here I've got all 9 systems. I can see what endpoint groups they belong to, if they're connected or not. You can see that 3 of these are connected. Okay, you can see there are different AMT versions. This variance happens because either the system is a year or 2 older, or it may just have a different version of AMT loaded on it. This shows you the status. You can see they're all provisioned. It even shows the last connect start time. You can see with some of these, I actually worked on one of these, or actually 2 of these systems today. And once you go to this summary view, this allows you to see one of the systems. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to select this CSC 5680. This is a precision 5680 system. And what it allows me to do is see all of its stats. So you can see here, you can see different pieces of information. You can see it's on modern standby, which basically means that the system, which is sitting in Round Rock right now, is connected to power. It simply hasn't booted up, and I can do that in a minute. I will show you that. You'll also see that you've got hardware manageability. This allows you to go in and you can see all the different levels of access. This is actually where you kick the desktop off, and this will let me connect to the desktop. You can also access a terminal on it so that you can act on the system outside of the operating system. You've got files that you can search for, access. You've got processes that you can check on that system, and you also have WMI, so you can do things like provision different items and send items to those systems. But for right now, we're just going to show you in general what's going on here. And you can see here that now that system is still in modern standby, and you'll see there are different actions here. I can wake the system, I can put it to sleep, I can hibernate it, power it off, I can restart the endpoint, I can set an alarm clock for different things like software patches, etc. I can send an alert, which sends a small message to the screen, and I can time that message out, or I can set it up so that someone has to click OK to close it. I can do a remote file search. This will find any files, not only physically located on that system, but also in any network files or cloud files. I can stop managing the endpoint. I can go in and provision Intel AMT if that hasn't been done. I can view the desktops, and I can also mount an image. In this part of the demo, what I'm going to show you is a view of not only the Intel Endpoint Management Assistant interface, but I'm actually going to show you a desktop that I'm going to interact with. So this is the CSC 7450 demo system that you see on the right side. This is the actual screen itself of the system. This is actually in the Round Rock office. So I'm interacting with it remotely. On this side here, you can see that the stats are showing that the power is on. Okay, it is connected and it's serial connected. So again, one of the things I can do is I can go in, I can do things like I can send an alert, and I'll type a message here saying, this is a test. And you'll see here that on the user side, you see that they saw this message. This is handy for doing things like alerting someone that you're going to make a change to their system or that you want to interact with them. But one of the things that happens when you try to remotely view the desktop is that you have to send this prompt. And once a user sends this prompt, if they click yes, you'll notice now on the left side, I can actually see that screen. If I want to expand this, I can do so. Okay, I have to reconnect to it because it has to scale the screen out to the proper resolution. Once again, I get the same prompt, and you'll see here that I can see this full screen. And if I expand this once again, you'll see there that I'm actually interacting with the system as though I'm in front of it. And you can see that there are things happening on the left and right side, which are in sync, because I'm viewing this as the admin on the left side. On the right side, this is me as the user seeing that someone else is interacting with my system. This functionality comes in very handy when you have end users that need help with their systems. They could use some guidance as far as things that are occurring on the system and other functionality that allows for this remote connection.